Hi, my name is Michelle, and today I'm going to be taking you through my daily makeup routine / daily acne makeup routine. This is probably going to be like my most vulnerable video yet. I had a flare-up recently on my cheeks that was awful. It's gone down and it's healing, but the aftermath is still pretty hard for me to look at. My friends haven't seen me like this. Most of my family hasn't even seen me like this. So it's going to be pretty hard for me to put out in the internet. But I think if I can help at least one person, it will be worth it. So let's just get into it. Okay, so this is what I'm working with. Obviously not the most ideal condition. As you can see, the left side of my face is definitely worse than the right one. So that's the one I'm mainly going to be focusing on and showing you. So my face and lips are already prepped because I like to do that right after I wash my face and everything stands still. And I actually don't use any primer or foundation, so we're just going to jump straight into concealer. So this is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Concealer in the shade 240. My pores are screaming right now, but I'm just using this as a substitute for foundation. So the acne that I actually struggle from is not due to any facial irritation. It's a hormonal imbalance, so I have super high testosterone levels, which cause me to break out, have excess facial hair, and irregular periods. Which can be really frustrating because people will just assume that you're unhygienic, when in reality it's due to something that you can't really control. So after finished covering up all the discoloration, I'm just going to go in with the Fenty concealer brush and blend everything in. And I love her brushes, they're the softest ones I've used so far. And take your time with this step because the concealer works best when it's a little bit dry. Do your best to tap around the red areas and blend out to make it look smooth and seamless. But don't worry if it doesn't look perfect because makeup is makeup, not skin. I also like to make sure that my lips are constantly moisturized throughout the whole thing. The thing about my flare-ups is that they're super unpredictable, so my skin could be good for a couple months and it'll just show up super randomly. They're also very deep cystic pimples, so they take forever to go away and they're super painful. I'm seeing a naturopathic doctor about it now, so hopefully they'll stop, but if you're going through the same thing now, trust me, you're not alone. And if there are any spots I miss, I'm just going to go over it again. Sorry if I keep on looking into the viewfinder, I'm using it as a second mirror. And I have a couple of scars on my forehead as well, but I usually like to leave those. Next up is blush, and I'm using the Milk Makeup Cream Blush in the color Work. Okay, so this is a Fenty powder brush, but I paid $40 for it, so I've been using it for basically everything. And I usually don't use concealer under my eyes, so I try to make up for it and mask it by using a ton of blush. I put it all over my cheeks and over my nose. It might be wrong, but that's just what I do. And I also like putting a bunch because it can mask any redness that's left over. So I'm going to set that all in with some powder, and I'm using the Milk Makeup Translucent Powder in the color Medium. And yes, I'm using the same powder brush, and I'm going to keep on doing it later too, so very sorry about that. Next up is brows. I don't really pluck my eyebrows anymore, so I use this to tame them. It's actually an eyelash primer, but it didn't work for my eyelashes, so I just use them for my eyebrows. It's called the Lash Food Conditioning Collagen Primer. And to be honest, it's not the best for brows because it does leave a white residue. My favorite one is probably the Clear Boy Brow by Glossier, but I kind of ran out, so I'm just using this instead. And as you can see, this just makes them look a lot more arched and clean. So next up is eyelashes. So I actually don't use mascara because it weighs my eyelashes down, and I haven't found one that works well with mine yet, so I just curl them. And I'll usually carry my curler around with me all day just in case I sweat them out or cry or anything. So next up is eyeshadow primer. I'm using the Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r eyelash primer. And honestly, I just really love everything that Rihanna puts out, so just gonna take a couple swipes of that and rub it all in. And now time for the actual eyeshadow slash bronzer. It is so gross looking. I've had this for a very long time. I'm not gonna say how long it is. I think I've already exposed myself enough today, so I'm just gonna rub that all over the lid. I actually don't use bronzer anywhere else on my face, and that's probably why it's lasted so long. And you can use any bronzer, but I'm using the Rimmel London Natural Bronzer in Sundance. To be honest, I don't even know if they sell this anymore, so. And I'm just using a Morphe shower brush to blend everything in. I think I realized here that I put a little too much on my outer corner, so it looks like I got punched, but I think it's all good. Next up is eyeliner, so I'm using this brown Epic liner from NYX. I just started using this recently. Usually I would use Brow Flick by Glossier, which is not an eyeliner, it's actually an eyebrow filler, but I liked it because it was super light. This one's really cute too. The formula is just a little dry, so it's kind of hard to put on sometimes, but if I shake it up a bit, it should be fine. I kind of messed up on my line here and I was too lazy to clean it up, so you'll probably see that later. And due to my Asian eye shape, I only put it on the outer corners. Trying to wipe off some of that potent orange. Okay, time for highlighter. Usually I would skip this step, but I was feeling a little extra today, so I'm gonna put it on. This is Glossier's Halo Scope in Topaz. Kind of makes a difference, maybe a little bit, I'm not sure, but it makes me feel nice, so we're gonna do it. And for my nose highlight, I'm gonna be using Glossier Play's Platinum Rose Highlighter Concentrate. And for lips, I'll just use my lip balm again. And last but not least, setting spray. So I'm using the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. I always have to mentally prepare myself before I spray myself, and it didn't even end up on my face, it was mostly my neck and my chest. And that's the final look. It's not perfect, but that's not really the point. Now I'm just gonna take my greasy hair down. And this is not a makeup step, but I do not feel complete without it. So I'm just gonna roll on some perfume on my neck, collarbones. I don't know why I'm doing my shoulders, but you get the point. As you can see, the acne still peeks through a little bit, which is totally fine. You can definitely layer up if you want to go a little bit more intensely, but my goal is just to mainly minimize it. And so that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I just want you to remember that you should never be afraid of looking the way that you look. Acne is a natural thing. It happens to everybody. It could be hormonal, just a puberty thing, anything. It's one of the biggest things that I struggled with. I was afraid of what other people would think of me. And it was just really toxic to look at myself before and after because, you know, I don't really look the way that I used to, and that really hurt me. It was really hard for me to even turn the camera on and start talking, to be honest. But I think the most important thing to remember, if you are afraid of other people seeing what you look like, or you're afraid of what other people think, just know that if somebody really loves you, your friends, your family, they'll love you before the acne, they'll love you after the acne. It's a temporary thing. Acne will come, it'll go. You didn't always look like this, and you won't always look like this forever. And those people that don't accept you and don't accept your acne, they're temporary people. And I think that's really comforting to know that by embracing yourself, you're finding the people that actually embrace you for who you are. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope that this has made you feel a little bit better. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's skin is perfect. Doesn't look like this all the time, and that's fine. So I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching if you got this far.